Welcome to the first module of your Unit 1, that is Mathematical Logic, and we'll be going through the basic concepts in this chapter. Now, before we start with the actual definitions of the different topics in this chapter, we'll try to see why we are really learning this particular chapter, that is Mathematical Logic. And in order to answer that, let me consider a small situation. Let us say you are across a street trying to find a meal, and you come across two restaurants across facing each other on a street. There is this is seafood a hotel which is on the left, and it says good food is not cheap. And there is exactly another restaurant opposite of it, Joe's Den, and it says cheap food is not good. Now, as an individual, what are you going to understand by these two statements? Or which is the restaurant that you are trying to go? Or do this statement mean the same thing? What should you be deriving from these two statements? So we need basically some reasoning tool so that I can verify whether these two statements are the same or do they really mean something else or two different things. That is why we need mathematical reasoning or mathematical logic. It will help us in finding whether two statements that we see here are the same, or we will be at least in a position to analyze these two statements mathematically. Or let us say you have another situation wherein you go to an island in search of gold, and while you are trying to find a gold, this island you come across two groups of people. One who always tell you the truth, and the other one who always lie. So there are only two groups of people living on this island. One always speak the truth, the other one always lie. And while you're trying to find gold, you come across a man and you ask him a question. Is there gold on the island? And the man looks at you for a while and he replies, there is gold on the island if and only if I'm telling you the truth. Now, is this statement enough for you to know whether there is gold on the island? What conclusion are you going to derive from this statement that the man made? So again, we need a reasoning tool. We need a reasoning tool so that we can arrive at a valid conclusion based on these statements. So here we have a set of statements based on which I want to arrive at a conclusion, or I want to verify whether there is gold on the island or no based on these two statements. This is exactly what you are going to do in this chapter. We have a set of statements and we will be analyzing these statements or putting into a mathematical form and try to derive a valid conclusion of this. So besides this, why we are really learning this chapter is because this is one of the first 7 liberal arts that dominated the Roman times, and this is one of the first topic that was used, and that was for logical reasoning. This is also referred to as the mathematics of correct reasoning. It gives you a reasoning tool to give your justification correctly. It also helps identifying various forms of verbal and structured reasoning. Okay, we'll have exactly a structure which we can use in analyzing a set of data, and also provides a mathematical tool to convince others the validity of your reasoning. So with this, you'll have a set of rules which you can use in convincing people your conclusion, whatever you are trying to say. So we are dealing with basically statements. Okay. So logical statement we define. A logical statement is a declarative statement which is either true or false. So any statement which is either true or false, it is called as a logical statement, or it is called as a proposition. Okay. Let's say for example, India won the Cricket World Cup in 2011. Now this is, we know, is true. So we can directly assign a value to it. This statement is true, so we are assigning a value true to it. So this is a logical statement. India won the Cricket World Cup in 2011 is a logical statement which is true. 4 is the only square root of 16. Now is this true or false, or can we assign a unique value to this statement, true or false? Now we know that 4 is not the only square root of 16, minus 4 is also there. So this is a statement which is false. Now more importantly, we can assign a value of false to it. So we say this is a logical statement which is false. So both these are logical statements. It rained today. Okay. Again, it based on whether it has rained today or no, you'll say it is either true or false. Okay. So this is also a logical statement. Is there a football match today? Now, depending on whether a football match today, I mean, this is sort of a question. This is not really a declarative statement which you can assign a value true or false. Sun rises from west. Okay, now is this true or false? Now you will say it is false. So this is also an example of a logical statement. So while India, the first, second, and third, and fifth are logical statements. Is there a football match today? Is not really a declarative statement, so it is not a logical statement. Or let's say, for example, I make a statement: you may sit. You may sit. This is also not a declarative statement which you can say is either true or false. So this is also not a logical statement. What is the score? Again, is not a declarative statement. It is not a logical statement. So you should be able to assign a value true or false to the statement. Only then it will be called a logical statement. Any statement to which you cannot assign a value is not a logical statement. Now, we instead of writing true, we may also say T, only capital T, and we say capital F for false. Logical statements are denoted by small alphabets like E, Q, small a, small b, and so on. Then a statement which is always true, irrespective of what context you are talking about, that statement is called as a tautology. A tautology is a statement which is always true. Like say, sun rises from east is always true. So you will say this is a tautology. It is always true. India celebrates its Independence Day on 15th August. You will say this is always true, irrespective of what context you are talking about. This will also, you will say, is always a tautology. Is a tautology. It's always true. 5 is a number, 5 is a prime number, is also always true. So it is a tautology. So this statement we say is a tautology. A tautology is denoted by T. Next, a contradiction. A contradiction is a statement that is always false. Okay. So any statement that is always false is called a contradiction. Kolkata is the capital city of India. We know it is always false. So you will say this is false. Or it is a contradiction. 7 is an odd number. What do you say about this? 7 is an odd number. So this is not really a contradiction. In fact, this is a tautology. A contradiction is always denoted by F. Okay, so either you say F or F, small or capital. When you bring together many simple statements to make one big statement, we call it as a compound statement. Like in the previous slide, all these are simple statements. There is only one statement that is involved there. Sun rises from east, or India celebrates its Independence Day on 15th August. They are single, or they are called as simple statements. Now, in case you have many statements coming together to make one bigger statement, that is called as a compound statement. And these many simple statements are usually combined together by using some connectives. Let's say, for example, either I will go to college or I will attend a football match. Now, this is an example of a compound statement. Why? Because there are two simple statements involved in it. I will go to college or I will attend the football match. So this is one statement and this is another statement. So, and these two statements are connected by using one connective we say. The connective here is or. So this is an example of a compound statement. India will participate in the tournament and it will win the finals. Another example of a compound statement. One simple statement is India will participate in the tournament. Now there is a connective here and it will win the finals. So these two statements 1 and 2, it is connected by a connective and. If the prices increase by 100%, then I will sell my product. Now this is again a compound statement. There are two statements involved here. The prices increase by 100%. I will sell my product. And this is connected by using if and then. If this statement, then this statement. Okay. So this is sort of a conditional statement. If something happens, then something else happens. This is an example of a compound statement, and the connective that is used here is if and then. I will go to the match if and only if you come with me. Now these are again two statements which are brought together, two simple statements by using a connective if and only if. So this is an example of a compound statement which use the connective if and only if. None of the two students, Mark and Rudolph, got a gold medal. These are again two statements. Now they are not clearly specified, the two statements, but this statement can be rewritten as neither Mark got a gold medal or Rudolph got a gold medal. So there are again two statements, and here there is none. So we are saying that Mark did not get a gold medal. So there is not that is involved here. So these are again two statements that involves a connective not, and it also includes and, because if you have to rewrite these statements, we will be saying Mark did not get the gold medal and Rudolph also did not get a gold medal. So there are basically these connectives that we will come across. We will say or, there was a statement which involved or, whose symbol is this V. So in case I have two statements P and Q, and we want to say P or Q, okay, we will say P or Q by this notation. This will be read as P or Q. Then there is another connective that is AND, which is also referred to as conjunction, or is referred to as disjunction. Now AND, the notation is ulta V, and we say P and Q by this notation. This will be read as P and Q. Then there is not. Whenever there was a statement like Mark did not get a gold medal, there is not that is involved here. So not is this notation, or there are other notations also. Instead of saying, so if P is a statement, we say not P by writing like this, P not. There is also other notations like P bar or not P is also written like this. Okay, different authors use different notations. Then there is conditional implications. We saw that there was a statement, if this happens then something else happens. So there is if then. This is a notation for conditional. Okay, and if I have two statements P and Q, and we say that if P happens then Q happens, and then this is how we write it. We say P implies Q, and we read it as if P then Q. If P happens then Q happens. Then there is another implication called as biconditional. You came across a statement where there was a statement wherein it said, I will do this if and only if something else. So there was if and only if. If and only if is denoted by this notation. So we say P if and only if Q. What it means is if P happens then Q happens, and if Q happens then P happens. P implies Q was one directional. If P happens then Q happens. Biconditional is if P happens then Q happens, and if Q happens then P happens. It is both ways. Okay, so we'll just be talking about this connectives briefly. So if we come across, if I go back to the statements that we wrote earlier, either I will go to college or I will attend a football match. There is or that is involved here. We know it is OR is this symbol. So this is one statement, that is P. This is another statement, that is Q. So this statement, if I have to write in notation form, I'll say P or Q. This is how you write it. There was another statement, it said India will participate in the tournament and it will win the finals. So there is a connective AND here, and this is the notation. So this is one statement P, this is another statement Q. So if I have to convert this statement into symbolic form, we'll say P and Q. There is AND that is involved here. Next statement was, if the prices increase by 100%, then I will sell my product. So if I have to put this into notation form, the connective that you will see is if and then. So it is implies that is involved here. So this is a statement P and this is another statement Q. So if P then Q, you will write this into this form. So you have to define what is P, you have to define what is Q here, and because there is if then that is involved here, you will write it as P implies Q. Kolkata is not in Goa. Now there is not here. So if I take the statement P as Kolkata is in Goa, this statement Kolkata is not in Goa will be written as P dash or P bar, like this. So you will say P is Kolkata is in Goa, you will define it first, and because Kolkata is in Goa is your P, not in Goa will be P bar. The next statement is, I will go to the match if and only if you come with me. So there is P here, there is Q here, and there is if and only if. So this statement you will write it as P implies P if and only if Q. So if I have to look at this connectives, now we know that when we say P or Q, now if you look at this example, I will go to college or I will play a match. So there is or that is involved here. There is a statement P, there is a statement Q. So I am writing this as P or Q. Now this is again a compound statement. This is again a compound statement. Basically it's a logical statement. Now this logical statement as a statement will either be true or false. Now when will you say that this statement is true? I am saying that either I will go to college or I will play a match. I am saying that I will do this or this. When will you say I am true? It is when I will do at least one of these two things. Either I should go to college or I should play a match. That is when you will say that this is true. So for P or Q, this logical statement to be true, at least one of them has to be true. If I don't do both, you will say that I am false. Okay. So the same way, either it rained today or the school reopened for new semester. You will say that this statement is true when either it rains or the school reopens for new semester. Either one of the things should happen for or to be true. So if P and Q are two statements, P or Q, it is denoted by P or is P or Q, this notation, and P or Q is true only when one of them is true. So now P and Q are two logical statements. So they can be either true or false. So either both may happen, either both might be true, or any one of them might be true, or both of them might be false. Okay, so P can be true and Q can be false, or Q can be false and Q can be true, or both can be false. We know that P or Q is true when at least one of them is true. Okay, now here both are true. So P or Q will be true. Here P is true. So this will be also true because any one of them has to be true. Here Q is true. So this is true. When both have not happened, both are false, then P or Q will be false. This we say is a truth table. Okay, for a statement. So P or Q was a statement. for which we are writing these truth values. These are called as truth values, and a table writing all the truth values is called as a truth table. So what is a truth table? A table that gives truth values of a compound statement in terms of its components. So this we say is a truth table for P or Q. The same way, the second connective that we have is AND or conjunction. Let's say, for example, I say that I went to college and I played a match today. Now, when will you say this statement is true? Now, I have two statements here. I am saying that I went to college and I played a match. When will you say this is true? When I do both. For this to be true, I should be doing both. I should go to college and I should play the match as well. When I do both, you will see that this statement is true. So for AND to be true, all the statements should be true. Another example, suppose I say I got my grades today and I passed with distinctions. I am saying that I got my grades and I passed with distinction. When will you say I am true? When both these things are true. So if P and Q are two statements, P and Q is denoted by P, this notation. This is the notation for AND, P and Q. And P and Q is true if both of them are true. No, it is either is not there. If it is true if both of them are true, otherwise it is false. So the same way, now I have two statements P, Q. Both can be either true or one of them can be false, the other one is true, or both can be false. And AND is true when both of them are true, or else it is false. If at least one of them is false, we will say it is false. This we say is the truth table for AND. So when we say truth table of AND, you should be able to know what are the truth values for every combination of truth values that we are considering. For T and T, the truth value is T. For T and F, the truth value is F, and so on. Then the other connective that we talked about is NOT. Okay, so this is like an opposite. Suppose I say I did not get my results today. Okay, so I'm using NOT here. Okay. So the original statement was like I did get my results today, and I'm converting it to opposite. So I'm saying I did not. So if you say the statement is P is I did get my results today, then P bar will be I did not get my results today. Okay. So we are just taking negation of it. I will not attend the graduation ceremony tomorrow. Okay. So here there is a not that is involved. So the original statement is like I will attend the graduation ceremony tomorrow, and I'm converting it to negation by saying not. So if the original statement was I will attend the graduation ceremony tomorrow, if it was Q, then I will not attend the graduation ceremony tomorrow will be Q bar. Okay. So if P is a logical statement, then not P is denoted by P dash. There are other notations also which we talked about. So we are just converting it to opposite. So if P is true, then P dash is false, and vice versa. Okay, so if I write down the truth table for this, if P is true, opposite of that is false, and if P is false, then opposite of that is true. So this is the truth table for not. Okay, so it is just like if we are just converting into the opposite. Thank you.